come forth.
They do know what they're saying.
Do you truly know the untold story behind the cancellation of the beloved show Bewitched? Despite premiering on September 17, 1964, and remaining a fan favorite, the series only lasted for 8 seasons. Samantha's iconic twitching nose is still recognized to this day. Many spin-offs attempted to capture the magic of the original, but none quite succeeded. Join us as we unveil the shocking truth behind the show's cancellation and some lesser-known facts about Bewitched, including revelations from the cast and crew. Bewitched strayed far from its original premise. It was a popular sitcom that aired from 1964 to 1972, starring Elizabeth Montgomery as Samantha, an enchanting witch married to Darren, a mortal. The show followed the whimsical adventures of the couple as they dealt with meddling relatives, nosy neighbors, and supernatural mishaps. However, the concept of the show was certainly not original. It was heavily influenced by 2 films, I Married a Witch, 1942, and Belle, Book and Candle, 1958, both humorous and captivating tales of how a witch and a mortal overcome differences to find true love. Sol Sachs, the creator of Bewitched, admitted to borrowing heavily from these films when writing the show's pilot but cleverly avoided plagiarism accusations. Both the films and the show were owned by the same company, Columbia Pictures. Columbia Pictures also owned Screen Gems, the television subsidiary that produced Bewitched. Essentially, Sol Sachs was stealing from himself, making it entirely legal. Thus, Bewitched came to fruition through a blend of creative recycling and a touch of magic. Bewitched featured many quirky and magical supporting characters, but my favorite was Uncle Arthur, played by Paul Lynde. He also appeared in I Dream of Jeannie as an IRS agent, a film producer, and a space landlord. He voiced Templeton, the greedy rat in Charlotte's Web, and played many practical jokes on various game shows. Truly a versatile man. Elizabeth Montgomery nearly didn't make the cut. The show's creators originally fancied Tammy Grimes, an actress with a natural pixie-like appearance, to play his leading witch. He even named her Cassandra, not Samantha, but Sol Sachs and Bill Asher, the producers, had other ideas. Instead, they chose Elizabeth Montgomery for the role, and thank goodness they did. She was the ideal Samantha. Charming, alluring, and clever, with a twitching nose that enchanted millions of fans. It's hard to imagine anyone else in her shoes, especially someone who looked more like a hobbit than a witch. The Tabitha spin-off, Off the Mark. Many fans were eager to learn more about Samantha and Darren's daughter, Tabitha. However, the 1977 spin-off series Tabitha fell short of expectations. Original actress Erin Murphy was replaced by Lisa Hartman Black, who portrayed a completely different Tabitha in every aspect. The show changed her background, personality, profession, romantic life, and even her brother Adam, who was no longer a warlock. It attempted to become a modern-day sitcom but lacked the charm and humor of Bewitched. It also faced stiff competition from other shows and was cancelled after just 11 episodes. Lisa Hartman Black went on to have a successful career in both television and music. She starred in Knots Landing and married country music singer Clint Black. Her younger sister, Johnny Hartman Rogers, was a television journalist who passed away in 2017. The secret transformation of Terry Roll, Marsha Wallace, a versatile actress and comedian, once portrayed Darren's secretary in Bewitched. She had a knack for making people laugh with her witty remarks and distinctive voice. Later, she lent her voice to Edna Crabapple, the lonely and skeptical teacher in The Simpsons. She won an Emmy for this role in 1992. Marsha also had a prominent role as Bob Newhart's assistant in The Bob Newhart Show in the 1970s. She was a loyal and humorous colleague, often flirting with Bob. Unfortunately, Marsha passed away from pneumonia in 2013 after a 28-year battle with breast cancer. Her role in The Simpsons was retired to honor her. And the show paid tribute to her with a touching message on Bart's chalkboard. Marcia Wallace left behind a legacy of laughter and inspiration for many fans and colleagues. The truth behind their wardrobe in the TV business: costumes are crucial in shaping the image and feel of a television show. But they can also be costly. That's why many producers, especially in the past, tried to save money by recycling or renting costumes for new or existing shows. This also gave actors the opportunity to express their style and personality through their wardrobe. Sometimes, this led to some surprising and amusing fashion choices. The Darren switch didn't fare well for ratings. One of the most notable changes in the Bewitched sitcom was the replacement of the main character, Darren Stevens, Samantha's mortal husband. The original actor playing Darren was Dick York, who had great chemistry with Elizabeth Montgomery, the actress portraying Samantha. However, York had to abruptly leave the show after 5 seasons. Sergeant Richard, who was previously offered the role of Darren before York, was chosen as his replacement. Sargent had previously turned down this role to star in another sitcom, The Real McCoys, alongside Richard Crenna. Crenna was also considered for the role of Darren but turned it down as well. Sargent portrayed Darren in the last 3 seasons of Bewitched. But he couldn't convince fans who were accustomed to York's portrayal. Unfortunately, the show didn't survive the cast change and ended in 1972. The birthday coincidence: Elizabeth Montgomery, the star of Bewitched, led a busy life both on and off screen. She had 3 children while the show was airing, but her 3rd child was a special case. Rebecca Asher, her youngest daughter, was born on June 17, the same day as the twin sisters who played Diane Murphy in Erin Murphy. Was this just a random coincidence or was there some witchcraft involved? A photo captures Diane Murphy, one of the Tabithas, alongside Elizabeth and Rebecca. Rebecca grew up to become a film director. Working on movies such as Donnie Darko, Knocked Up, and Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. Never truly nose-twitching, fans adored Samantha's nose-twitching gesture, the action she used to turn magic into reality. But did you know it wasn't actually a nose-twitch but a sneaky trick? Erin Murphy, who played Tabitha, Samantha's daughter, revealed the truth about this famous gesture. She said that Elizabeth Montgomery, who played Samantha, didn't twitch her nose but instead moved her upper lip. This made her nose appear to twitch, which was further enhanced by sound effects and editing. Some fans speculate that Montgomery's lip movement caused her nose to twitch. But this is scientifically implausible. The human nose doesn't have muscles to twitch like that. So, the nose-twitching gesture is actually a lip twitch, but it's an impressive one from Montgomery and the mesmerizing team. Cassandra didn't have intentions. Did you know Cassandra could have been the star of Bewitched? Well, fate had different plans. Tammy Grimes, who previously won a Tony for the unsinkable Molly Brown, was the initial choice for the suburban witch role. But she got stuck with another studio and had to decline. So, the producers renamed the character Samantha and hired Elizabeth Montgomery, who mesmerized millions of viewers over 8 seasons. Grimes continued to have a successful career on stage and screen until her passing in 2016 at the age of 82. The mysterious theme song: You may know the catchy tune of Bewitched. But did you know it also had lyrics? The theme song was written by Howard Greenfield and Jack Keller and sung by Steve Lawrence. The lyrics describe how Samantha put a spell on her husband and how he couldn't resist her magic. But you'll never hear them on the show because they were cut before airing. Larry Tate's sons, tragic name and fate. In the classic sitcom, Larry and Louise Tate happily welcomed a baby boy into the world. However, the name they chose for their son was not random but a heartfelt tribute to a personal tragedy. David White, the actor who played Larry, lost his wife to complications during her 2nd pregnancy. He had to raise his son Jonathan as a single father. He loved him so much that he requested the show's creators to name his on-screen son after him. The creators were deeply touched by his request and willingly fulfilled his wish. Thus, Larry and Louise's son became Jonathan Tate, a lively living memorial to White's real-life son. Unfortunately, fate was ironic for White as his son Jonathan perished in the Lockerbie bombing in 1988, leaving him devastated. He never recovered from the loss and passed away from a heart attack in 1990. However, his on-screen son continued to live on in Bewitched reruns, a reminder of the love and sorrow White endured in his lifetime. The final notorious moments, despite being one of the most famous and beloved sitcoms of the 1960s and 1970s, behind the scenes, everything wasn't as magical. Montgomery, who played the lead role of Samantha, grew tired of the show and wanted to pursue other projects. Initially, she agreed to do the show as a favor to her husband, Bill Asher, who was also a producer and director of the show, but after 8 successful seasons, she had had enough. According to Kirby J. Pilato, author of Twitch Upon a Star, The Bewitched Life and Career of Elizabeth Montgomery, the network actually offered to extend the show for 2 more seasons. But Montgomery declined. She wanted to end the show on a high note and also to focus on her crumbling personal life. Montgomery and Asher had been married since 1963 and had 3 children together. They were considered one of the most stable and happy couples in Hollywood, but their marriage faced many strains due to the long hours and stresses of working on the show as well as their different personalities and interests. The show ended in 1972 after 254 episodes and 8 seasons, while Elizabeth and Asher divorced in 1973, and she went on to take on more serious and dramatic roles, such as in The Legend of Lizzie Borden. She also became an activist for various causes, such as women's rights and animal welfare. Declining ratings. Another reason for the show's end was the declining ratings and quality of the show. The final episode of Bewitched, aired on March 25, 1972, was a clear indication of how the show had lost its appeal. The episode titled The Truth, Nothing But the Truth, So Help Me Sam, was a recycled storyline from a previous episode in the 2nd season titled Speak the Truth. In both episodes, a similar plot unfolds. Samantha's meddlesome mother, Endora, gives Darren a pin to force him to tell the truth, no matter how inconvenient or embarrassing. This leads to humorous and awkward situations for Darren, both at the advertising agency and at home. Many fans and critics were unimpressed with the final episode and felt it was a lazy and poor way to end the series. It just showed how the show had run out of fresh and unique ideas and was relying on tired and worn-out comedic tropes. The final episode only garnered 18.6 million viewers, far cry from the 36.4 million viewers who tuned in to the first episode in 1964. Elizabeth Montgomery's misleading obituary. Elizabeth Montgomery was a private person who never shared her age or other personal information with the public. Even in death, the media reported that she was 57 when she was actually 62. Similarly, because Elizabeth didn't announce her marriage to Robert Foxworth, many obituaries stated that she was still single despite being married. But that's not all. Elizabeth Montgomery also misstated her age and marital status in her obituary, and to top it off, even her death certificate had her name wrong. Upon looking closer, you'll see her full name is Elizabeth A. Montgomery, but true fans of hers will know that her middle name was Victoria, not Anne. She was a mystery, even in death. Perhaps she wanted to keep something for herself, or maybe she just liked messing with us. Nevertheless, she remained a focal point of attention. The real-life fountain of youth, Bewitched star Elizabeth Montgomery dazzled audiences with her timeless beauty and allure. Many fans speculated she had a magic wand or a secret fountain of youth hidden somewhere to remain graceful and elegant as she aged. But the secret behind her youthful appearance was actually quite simple. She lived a healthy lifestyle, including regular exercise and a nutritious diet. She also stayed away from smoking and drinking, unlike some of her colleagues and spouses. She cared deeply about various issues, such as women's rights, animal welfare, and AIDS awareness, things that kept her soul vibrant and radiant. Sadly, Beneath her perfect exterior, she was battling a cruel and deadly disease she kept secret. She was diagnosed with colorectal cancer in 1995 and passed away shortly after at the age of 62. Secrets behind Samantha's magic. Samantha's magic was not as straightforward as it appeared on screen. In the 1960s, before CGI made everything seem real, stagehands had to hastily create magical effects. For example, when Samantha made objects disappear or appear, Elizabeth Montgomery, the actress who portrayed her, would stand still while raising her hand as the director shouted, "Cut." Then, stagehands would rush to the set to either remove or bring in new objects. The cameras would keep rolling, and the objects would seemingly vanish or materialize. It wasn't very complex or impressive by today's standards, but it was quick, inexpensive, and it was what made the magic of the performance. This technique was called stop-motion filming, and was one of the special effects used in the show. The true reason for Dick York's departure, Dick York's sudden departure from the show in 1969, was never fully explained, but many fans speculated that he had a drug addiction that forced him to quit. The truth is, York suffered a severe back injury in 1959 while filming a movie called They Came to Cordura. He tore most of the muscles on the right side of his back and had been in constant pain ever since. He was prescribed painkillers, but he became dependent on them and developed an addiction. This affected his ability to film the subsequent episodes of Bewitched, as he often had to take breaks or lie down between scenes. He also missed several episodes, and his character was written to be away on business trips or visiting relatives. Eventually, he collapsed on set and had to be hospitalized. He decided to leave the show and was replaced by Dick Sargent. Alice's bittersweet Emmy, Alice Pierce, was a star in every sense of the word. She was a talented actress and producer who took on the role of Gladys, the nosy and annoying neighbor in the famous sitcom, Bewitched. She delivered such an outstanding performance that she won the Outstanding Supporting Actress award. But what most people didn't know was that Alice was secretly battling a terminal illness and didn't want anyone to pity or treat her differently. She continued to work on the show and never let her co-stars or the host know about her condition. She wanted to be remembered for her work, not her illness. She had only joined the cast a few months prior and quickly became a beloved character. Her death was a big shock to everyone in the industry, who had no idea she was ill. They felt devastated and betrayed and wondered how they could go on without her. The Emmy Award ceremony was a roller coaster of emotions for them. They were thrilled that Alice had won the award but also wished she could have been there to accept it. They accepted the trophy on her behalf and gave heartfelt speeches about how much they loved and missed her. They also joked about how she might be watching them from heaven and mocking their outfits. A real curse? Some fans of the show have a dark theory that there was a real-life curse associated with the show that caused cast members to die young and tragically. A large percentage of the cast, especially the younger ones, ultimately died from cancer-related causes, which is unusual and suspicious. Many also died before reaching the age of 65, considered early by modern standards. Besides Elizabeth Montgomery, the star of the show, other main cast members passed away at relatively young ages. Under 65 years old, including Alice Pierce, who died of ovarian cancer, Paul Lynde, who suffered a heart attack, Dick York, who passed away due to complications from emphysema, and Dick Sargent, who lost his battle with prostate cancer. It's difficult to say whether the sad statistics could be attributed to witchcraft, as the show revolves around a witch and her mortal husband, or to lifestyle choices like smoking, drinking, or stress. Bernard Fox, D's at age 89, the entertainment world lost one of its most talented and charming stars on December 14, 2016, when actor Bernard Fox passed away at the age of 89. Fox had a long and illustrious career spanning over 6 decades and had many memorable roles, including the humorous Dr. Bombay in the sitcom Bewitched. He also appeared on other popular television shows such as Hogan's Heroes, The Dick Van Dyke Show, Columbo, and The Andy Griffith Show. He was a fifth-generation performing artist. following in the footsteps of his parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents in the entertainment industry. However, Fox died of heart failure in Van Nuys, California. He was cremated, and his ashes were scattered in the Pacific Ocean. No longer Bewitched. After Bewitched abruptly ended and Elizabeth and Asher announced their retirement, Asher came up with a brilliant idea for a new sitcom featuring Paul Lynde. This idea was inspired by the play Howie, in which a lawyer, Paul Sims, played by Lynde, has to deal with his daughter's marriage to a lazy man named Howard, or Howie for short. Lynde's character despises him, as he lacks ambition or interest in anything other than laziness. Asher thought this would be a perfect vehicle for Paul Lynde. And he pitched it to ABC and Screen Gems to replace Bewitched the following year. Asher envisioned the Paul Lynde show as ABC's answer to CBS's All in the Family, but the show failed to garner the attention and relevance of its predecessor due to ABC's aversion to social realism. This was despite Lynde's efforts to spice up the show's dialogue with his trademark wit and sarcasm. When the Paul Lynde show premiered on ABC in the fall of 1972, it occupied Bewitched's timeslot in its final season on Wednesday nights, facing stiff competition from the top 30 hit The Carol Burnett Show on CBS and the top 20 hit Adam 12 on NBC. Although the first episode of the Paul Lynde show attracted a decent audience, it quickly lost its appeal due to strong negative feedback from critics and viewers who found Lynde's character too detestable and the premise too unrealistic. The secrets and scandals behind the scenes of Bewitched add another layer of intrigue to the beloved TV show. Many television programs have hidden, dramatic stories that viewers never get to see. One of these secrets was revealed by Herbie Pilato, a fan and author who wrote a biography about Elizabeth Montgomery, the actress who played Samantha. In his book, titled Twitch Upon a Star, The Bewitched Life and Career of Elizabeth Montgomery, he disclosed some fascinating details that occurred on the Bewitched set. One of the most shocking revelations was that Dick York, who played Darren in the first 5 seasons, had feelings for Elizabeth Montgomery. He confessed his feelings to her, but she rejected him and told him to focus on work. According to Pilato, this was one of the factors that led to York leaving the show, along with his chronic back pain, which made it difficult for him to perform. Another secret Pilato uncovered was that Elizabeth Montgomery didn't get along with Agnes Moorehead, the veteran actress who played her mother, Endora. Moorehead was a talented and respected performer, but she was also strict and temperamental. She didn't like Montgomery's liberal views and lifestyle and frequently clashed with her on set. Moorehead was also close to Dick York, and she was furious when he was replaced by Dick Sargent in the 6th season. She didn't hide her resentment towards Sargent and made his life a living hell on set. These are just some of the secrets and scandals that occurred behind the scenes of Bewitched. The show may have been a fantasy comedy, but the reality was far from humorous. However, despite the conflicts and challenges, the show still attracted millions of viewers and became a television classic. As for its long-lasting legacy, there's no doubt that Bewitched remains one of the best television shows of all time. Its legacy continues even after it ended. The show is still beloved to this day, with people of all ages recognizing Samantha the Witch, even though the final episode aired long ago. Bewitched still airs on TV and has been in syndication since 1972. The entire series is also available on DVD for new fans to enjoy. The complete series set is priced at just $30, a steal for a classic masterpiece. Thank you for watching, folks. For a more enticing video while you're still here,